So, 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Ito pong pag-uusapan natin yung mga issue. Ano kaya ang mga issue na matutunan natin dito sa 1 Corinthians chapter 7. So, in this chapter, Paul the Apostle answers questions the Corinthian believers had about marriage. So, ang issue dito sa chapter 7 about marriage, singleness, sexuality, and devotion to God. Corinth was a morally corrupt city. Kaya napag-aaralan din natin yung mga ilang issue. So, ang Corinth po ay na-identified as a morally corrupt city. So, Paul gives balanced teaching. Marriage is honorable, singleness is valuable, and believers should live faithfully in whatever situation God has called them. So, expected po natin na mapag-aralan po natin yung about marriage, singleness, at yung iba pa na mga issue dito sa chapter 7. Okay, so proceed tayo, verses 1 and 2. Now, concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Number 2, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So Paul says singleness can be good for serving God, but marriage is also good because it provides a holy relationship and protection against sexual sin. So, yun ang isa sa mga emphasis ni Apostle Paul. So, kung pag-usapan ang paglilingkod sa Panginoon ay parehas lang sa single at marriage, pero mayroon lang pong pagkakaiba tungkol sa responsibilidad. Pero here in verses 1 and 2, according to Apostle Paul, singleness can be good for serving God, but marriage is also good because it provides a holy relationship and protection against sexual sin. So, ano yung mga practical na lesson na pwede nating matutunan dito sa verses 1 and 2? Marriage is not inferior to singleness. So, hindi po inferior ang marriage kumpara doon sa single. Sexual desires should be handled in God's way. God values purity and commitment. So, yun po yung idea sa verses 1 and 2. Then, proceed tayo sa verses 3 to 5. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. Verse 4, the wife has not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband has not power of his own body, but the wife. Then verse 5, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with the consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. So marriage involves mutual love, sacrifice, and responsibility. Ayan. Anong mga practical lesson dito sa verses 3 to 5? Una, healthy marriage require communication and mutual respect. So ang healthy marriage, ito po ay na-define na mayroong tinatawag na communication and mutual respect. And then pangalawa na practical lesson, spiritual life should strengthen marriage, not destroy intimacy. Ano pa? Pangatlo, selfishness damages relationships. So, ganun po yung kabuuan dito po sa verses 3 to 5, yung mga practical lessons na pwede nating ma-consider sa verses 3 to 5. So, selfishness, ano po ang mangyari? Ano pong maging resulta? Damages relationships. So, ganun po yun. So, sana malinaw yung verses 3 to 5. Kasi, actually, ano yan, pinag-uusapan din actually yung mutual love, sacrifice, and responsibility. Ano pa? Verses 6 to 7, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. Number 7, for I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift, God, one after this manner, and another after that. So, different believers receive different callings. Yun yung idea dito sa 6 to 7. Different believers receive different callings. Now, mayroong tayong tatlong practical lesson regarding verses 6 to 7. Number 1, do not compare your life calling with others. Napansin nyo? Do not compare your life. So, hindi natin i-compare yung sarili natin doon sa iba. Kung ano yung kakayanan, anong meron tayo, anong ability meron tayo, hindi pwedeng ikumpara sa iba. Or dito sa verses 6 to 7, ang idea na matutunan natin dito, do not compare your life calling with others. And then number 2, some serve God best single and others through family life. Ibig sabihin, yung iba ay single pero nag-serve sila sa Panginoon at ganun lang din. Yung may yung mag-asawa or family ay nag-serve din sa Panginoon through family. So parehas na nag-serve. Okay? Parehas na nag-serve sa Panginoon. Ang kaibahan lang, yung isa single, yung isa naman marriage. And then God's purpose differs for each person. Ayan. Kaya nga, different believers receive different callings. Magkakaiba po. So, hindi natin pwedeng ikumpara yung ating sarili doon sa iba. Kung ang single ay nag-serve sa Panginoon at yung married ay nag-serve din sa Panginoon. So, parehas lang silang nag-serve. Okay? Kasi mayroong pagkakaiba. So, hindi pari-parihas ang kanilang estado kung papaano nag-serve ang bawat isa. Ang importante, ang pinaka mahalaga doon ay parehas silang naglilingkod. Kaya hindi pwedeng ikumpara ang kanyang sarili doon sa ibang tao. Okay, nakuha yung idea sa verses 6 to 7. Then, ano naman ang idea sa verses 8 to 9? Anong sabi sa verse 8? I say, therefore, to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. Number 9, but if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. So, ang idea sa verse 8 and 9, Paul promotes self-control but recognizes human weakness. So, kung gusto niya na, halimbawa, yung widow ay gusto niyang mag-asawa siya. Kung hindi, okay lang. So, walang walang problema doon. Kung baga, nasa tao, kung gusto niyang mag-asawa o hindi. So, Apostle Paul promotes self-control. Pero, ayon dito sa binasa natin, he recognizes human weakness. Kung hindi kaya, ay pwede siyang mag-asawa. Kaya yung na-mention na widow, dito sa verses 8 to 9, either mag-remain o maging single siya or mag-asawa ulit siya. So, depende sa kanya kung kaya niyang kontrolin ang kanyang sarili, at kung hindi ay inaalaw naman ni Apostle Paul. Kaya sabi niya, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I, but if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Merong tatlong practical lessons dito sa verses 8 to 9. Number 1, God understands human needs realistically. Number 2, marriage should not be rushed, but neither should temptation be ignored. Number 3, self-control is important in every stage of life. Yan po yung mga practical lesson na in relation sa verse 8 to 9. Then, proceed tayo sa verse 10 to 11. Verse 10, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. Then verse 11, but, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried. So kung halimbawa ay gusto niyang humiwalay, manatili siyang unmarried or be reconciled. So manatili siyang unmarried or mag-reconcile to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife. So ganun po. Kung gusto niyang humiwalay, halimbawa, hindi siya pwedeng mag-asawa. Okay? Maging si lalaki o si babae. Or, ang suggestion ni Pablo, why not reconcile na lang? Kasi, hindi na pwedeng, hindi pwedeng mag-asawa, maghiwalay siya at mag-asawa na, hindi pwede. Ang suggestion lang niya, mag-reconcile na lang. Yan. Yun po yung sa verse 11. So ano po ang idea ng verse na ito? Marriage is intended as a lifelong covenant. Kaya pala, once na ang isang tao ay nag-asawa, ito ay lifelong o baga till death. Di ba? Hanggang ano yan, hanggang kamatayan, doon lang sila pwedeng maghiwalay. Kaya pala, lifelong covenant. Oh. Yan yung idea ng verse 10 to 11. Okay, dito po sa verse na ito na ipinaliwanag ni Apostol Pablo, ano ang mga practical lessons sa verse na ito? Mayroong 3. Una, fight for reconciliation when possible. So, halimbawa, dumating sa punto na naghiwalay. So, ang solusyon lang doon ay mag-reconcile. Fight for reconciliation when possible. Number 2, marriage requires forgiveness and endurance. Mayroon pong forgiveness, kaakibat doon. Forgiveness and endurance. Ano pa? Pangatlo, separation should not become casual or careless. Yan yung practical lessons dito sa verse 10 to 11. So ganun po yung yung emphasis ni Apostle Paul ay hindi niya ayon sa kanyang turo sa kanyang sulat ay hindi pwede maghiwalay, at pag naghiwalay man hindi pwedeng mag-asawa. Ang solusyon, reconciliation. Mag-reconcile, yan, magsama ulit. So it requires forgiveness and endurance. Verse 12 to 16. Anong sabi dito? Verse 12. But to the rest I speak I, not the Lord. If any brother has a wife that believeth not, ito naman, yung sabi ni Pablo, but to the rest I speak I, kumbaga sa kanya, hindi sa Panginoon. Sabi niya, if any brother, o halimbawa lang, ito yung senaryo, if any brother has a wife that believeth not. So, na-mention na dito, sakaling ang senaryo ganito, yung isa believer, yung isa hindi. So, kung mag-asawa, believer yung isa hindi. And she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. 13. And the woman which has an husband that believeth not, vice versa. Babae naman, ang husband niya ay hindi mananampalataya. And if be he pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. So mayroong agreement. So, mag-asawa, yung isa believer, isa hindi. Ayan. Sa 14, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband, else were your children unclean, but now are they holy. 15, For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? Ano yung idea ng verses na ito? If the unbelieving spouse is willing to stay, the believer should remain faithful in the marriage. Yun yung ano dito. So, pero may mga may mga struggle, maraming struggle dito na ma-experience habang nagsasama itong unbelieving wife, believing husband, or unbelieving husband or unbelieving wife. Yung ang dito is dapat remain. Ang believer, maging lalaki o babae, should remain faithful in the marriage. Papaano kung humiwalay yung unbelievers? So, kung humiwalay, ay dito sa but if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. Sa verse 15. So, hayaan lang. Basta yung unbelieving, hiwalayan yung believing partner. Dito sa verse 15, but if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. Ayan. So, yun yung sinabi. Pero ang believer na wife or husband, hindi pwede. Dapat mag-remain lang siyang faithful sa marriage. Hindi pwedeng siyang humiwalay. Yung unbelieving husband or wife, kung gustong humiwalay, let him depart. Yan yung sabi dito sa verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband, or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife? So matindi lang yung yung tawag doon, yung challenges. Okay, kung hindi believer yung isang partner. Yan yung yung challenges talagang matindi. Ano ang mga lesson? Ano ang mga practical lessons dito sa verse 12 to 16? Christians can influence their homes positively. So yun yung point doon. Alam mo, kung believer siya, pwede niyang ma-influensyahan yung unbeliever doon sa house o sa kanilang pamamahay. Christian can influence their homes positively. Pangalawang practical lesson, peace in the family matters deeply. Number 3, faithfulness can impact spouses and children spiritually. Yan. So, yun yung challenge doon sa pamamahay na hindi parehas ang kanilang pananaw. Hindi parehas ang kanilang prinsipyo. Dahil nga, yung isa believer, yung isa hindi. So, expected yan na may mga problem dahil sa pagkakaiba ng kanilang paniniwala. Next, verse 17. Anong mayroon sa verse 17? But as God hath distributed to every man, as the Lord hath called everyone, so let him walk, and so ordain I in all churches. So, Apostle Paul explained regarding the issue in verse 17, following Christ does not always require changing social status immediately. Merong tatlo na practical lessons na pwede nating i-consider sa verse 17. Number 1, serve God where you are right now. Number 2, your present situation can still glorify God. Number 3, contentment is spiritually powerful. Ayan. Yun yung idea dito sa verse na ito. Ano pa? Verse 18 to 19. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Number 19, circumcision is nothing. Uncircumcision is nothing but the keeping of the commandments of God. So, merong external rituals do not save people. So, itong issue regarding circumcision or yung mga practices na ay hindi yun ang issue. So, walang kinalaman circumcised or uncircumcised, kasi sabi niya dito, circumcision is nothing. Ganun din, uncircumcision is nothing. Ang mahalaga doon yung kung ano yung sinasabi ng Panginoon. So, external rituals do not save people. Now, ito po yung practical lessons. God values obedience more than appearance, and spiritual maturity is inward, not merely cultural or ceremonial. How about verses 20 to 24? Verse 20, let every man abide in the same calling wherein he was called. Verse 21, art thou called being a servant? Care not for it, but if thou mayest be made free, use it rather. Verse 22, for he that is called in the Lord being a servant is the Lord's free man. Likewise also, he that is called being free is Christ's servant. Verse 23, ye are both with a price, or we are both with a price, not yet the servants of men. Verse 24, brethren, let every man wherein he is called therein abide with God. So, Paul speaks about servants, slaves, and freedom. So, even those in difficult conditions can belong fully to Christ. Ano yung mga lessons na matutunan natin sa verses 20 to 24? Number 1, your worth comes from God, not social status. And then freedom is good, but spiritual freedom matters most. Okay, freedom is good, but spiritual freedom matters most. Christians should avoid becoming enslaved spiritually or morally. Ayan po yung mga practical lessons related sa verses 20 to 24. Ay pinag-usapan dito, even those in difficult condition can belong fully to Christ. Kumbaga, yung mga sitwasyon na ganon ay hindi yan hadlang o hindrances para mag-serve sa ating Panginoon. Ngayon, verses 25 to 28. Verse 25, Now, concerning virgins, I have no commandments of the Lord, yet I give my judgment as one that hath obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful. 26, I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. 27, Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be lost. Art thou lost from a wife? Seek not a wife. Verse 20, But, and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. So Apostle Paul gives advice to unmarried believers during present distress. Now, his explanation, because of difficult times. Mayroon palang reason, because of difficult times, singleness could reduce worldly burdens. There are 3 practical lessons. Number 1, decisions should consider practical realities. Number 2, marriage brings responsibilities alongside blessings. Number 3, wisdom includes understanding seasons of life. So nakuha niyo yung idea dito po sa verse 25, 28 na sabi ni Apostle Paul to the unmarried believers during present distress. Next, verses 29 to 31. Verse 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had done 30, and they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. 31, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashions of this world passes away. So Paul reminds believers that earthly life is temporary. So, isa yan sa kanyang in-emphasize ni Apostol Pablo, particular in verses 29 to 31, that believers, Paul reminds the believers that earthly life is temporary. Christians should not become consumed by worldly things. Isa yan sa kanyang elaboration. Now, let us consider these 3 practical lessons. Number 1, keep eternal priorities in view. Number 2, possessions and emotions should not control your life. Possessions and emotions should not control your life. Number 3, time is valuable. Use it wisely for God. Ang ganda ng lesson dito sa verses na ito. Time is valuable. use it wisely. For God. Okay? For God. Yun yung advice. Next. Verses 32 to 35. Verse 32, but I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. 33, but he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. 34, there is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy, both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Verse 35, and this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. So dito mapansin nyo yung pagkakaiba lang doon sa responsibilidad ng isang unmarried o unmarried at saka yung married. So Paul explains advantages of singleness. So isa sa mga ipinaliwanag niya yung advantage ng being single kumpara doon sa may asawa. Dito sa verse 34, ulitin kong basahin yung 34, yung 33, but he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. Tapos sa verse 32, but I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. So parang ang kung single, yung walang asawa, ang kanyang focus ay more on sa Panginoon lang. Kumbaga hindi na divide yung kanyang focus sa Panginoon lang. So yun yung ipinaliwanag niya ano yung advantage ng isang walang asawa. Tapos sa verse 33 to 35, in-explain din naman niya sa mga may asawa ay divided. Kumbaga double yung kanyang focus or yung attention sa asawa at saka sa Panginoon. Ganon yung pinupunto niya. Kaya sa verse 33, but he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, and how he may please his wife. 34, and there is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, and she may be holy both in the body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. So Paul explains advantages, yung pagiging advantage sa isang single. So single believers may have fewer distractions and more freedom for ministry. Nakuha niyo yung doon, yung idea na kung bakit sinasabi ni Apostle Paul Kung pag-uusapan ang ministry, mas kukunti ang distraction yung single believer kumpara doon sa may asawa. Okay? Kumpara doon sa may asawa, ay ang mas maraming distraction kumpara sa single. Kaya in-emphasize ni Pablo yung advantage ng single pag nasa ministry. Now, there are 3 practical lessons related in verses 32 to 35. Number 1, singleness can be spiritually fruitful. Number 2, marriage and ministry both require attention and balance. And number 3, undivided devotion to God is important. Yan. So yun yung kabuuan sa verses 32 to 35. Let's proceed. Verses 36 to 38. Verse 36, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will. He sinneth not, let them marry. 37, nevertheless, he that standeth steadfast in his heart, having no necessity, but has power over his own will, and hath so decreed in his heart that he will keep his virgin, doeth well. Verse 38, so then he that giveth her in marriage doeth well, but he that giveth her not in marriage doeth better. Ayan. So Paul discusses engagement and marriage decisions. So yun po yung idea na gustong palabasin ni Apostle Paul, or gusto niya na ipaintindi. So mayroon pong tinatawag na engagement and marriage decisions. So ibig sabihin, marriage is honorable. Marriage is honorable. But remaining single, kasi meron siyang comparison dito eh. So nag-ano siya ng comparison, the single and the marriage, yung dalawa. So ibig sabihin, marriage is honorable, but remaining single can also be beneficial for certain people. Yan. Mayroong mga ilan na nag-remain single. Okay? Kaya sabi lang din ni Apostle Paul, remaining single can also be beneficial. Now, mayroong tatlong practical na lesson ayon sa verse 36 to 38. Number 1, marriage decisions should be made wisely and responsibly. Yes, once ng isang tao ay mag-asawa, ay kaakibat doon ang responsibilidad. Number 2, neither marriage nor singleness makes someone more spiritual. And number 3, seek God's guidance for major life choices. Kaya dito sa binasa natin 36 to 38 ay kailangang maingat. Ayan, kailangang maingat when it comes sa mga decisions. Kaya anong sabi sa verse 38? So then he that giveth her in marriage doeth well, but he that giveth her not in marriage doeth better. Let's proceed to verses 39 to 40. Verse 39, the wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. Verse 40, but she is happier if she so abide after my judgment, and I think also that I have the Spirit of God. Paul teaches that marriage lasts while both spouses live, and widows may remarry believers. Ayun yung ano niya. Pero kung halimbawa yung isa ay namatay yung isang partner, malaya siyang mag-asawa, dapat believers or mananampalataya. So ano po yung dahilan na mayroong maging malaya yung isang partner? Okay, so maging malaya kung yung isang partner ay mamatay. Ganun lang yon. Doon lang siya maging malaya at pwede siyang mag-asawa sa gusto niya. Pero ang ni-require dito, dapat believers. Dapat believers. So hindi pwede na mag-asawa ng unbeliever. Ayan, yun yung isa sa mga na-mention. Okay? So hindi pwedeng maghiwalay ang mag-asawa. Pwedeng magkaroon pwedeng maging malaya lang ang isang partner kung mamatay yung isa. Yun lang yung yun lang yung pwede. Okay? So ibig sabihin, marriage last pang yan, talagang habang buhay while both spouses live. So ibig sabihin, marriage is sacred. Sagrado. But remarriage after spouse's death is permitted. Nakuha nyo yung pinupunto ni Pablo dito? Hindi talaga pwedeng mag-asawa ng may asawa. Di pwede ha. Dito po, pwede lang siyang mag-remarriage after a spouse death. Yan. Okay? Ano yung mga tatlong lesson dito? Una, marriage is a serious covenant. Marriage is a serious covenant. Lifetime. Lifetime covenant. Number 2, future relationships should not honor faith and wisdom. Number 3, spiritual compatibility matters greatly. So, ganun po kaseryoso. Yan yung sinabi ni Apostle Paul. Kung titignan natin sa mga ibang writings, sa sulat lang ni Apostol Pablo ay binigyan ng halaga ito pong sa marriage. Sa ibang mga writings, hindi po na-emphasize ang marriage. Sa writings lang ni Apostle Paul. Di ba? Wala doon sa ibang sa ibang mga books outside the writings of Apostle Paul ay hindi po na-emphasize ang marriage sa time lang ng dispensation of grace, ay na-emphasize yung kahalagahan ng marriage. So, mayroong mga ilang tema dito sa 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Ang una, faithfulness in every season. Whether married or single, believers are called to honor God. Number 2, contentment. Paul repeatedly teaches believers to serve God faithfully where they are. So, ipinaliwanag niya yung contentment. Ano ba yung contentment? O, sa Tagalog ay kontento. Di ba? Yun yung isa sa mga emphasis ni Apostle Paul. Number 3, purity and self-control. God cares about how people handle relationships and desires. Purity and self-control. Ano pa? Number 4, undivided devotion to God. Earthly relationships are important, but God remains first. So kung i-summarize natin ang chapter 7 ng 1 Corinthians, una, Paul the Apostle, first, marriage is honorable according to Apostle Paul. Ayon sa kanyang turo, lalo na dito sa chapter 7 ng 1 Corinthians, marriage is honorable. Number 2, singleness is honorable. Number 3, Christians should live pure and faithful lives. And then, number 4, believers should serve God wholeheartedly in whatever situation they are in. Ibig sabihin, earthly life is temporary, so eternal priorities matter most. Kaya ganun po ang kahalagahan sa in-emphasize ni Apostol Pablo regarding doon sa marriage. In-explain niya, kumbaga actually detailed na yung kanyang paliwanag dito sa chapter 7. So in-explain niya yung pagiging single, yung marriage, at saka yung widows. Ipinapaliwanag niya at ang kagandahan doon, ipinaliwanag din niya na ang pag-aasawa ay lifetime. Ito ay habang buhay. Okay? Kaya pag may naghiwalay, hindi na siya pwedeng mag-asawa habang buhay parehas, both parties. Kaya ang solution, reconcile. Okay? Isa yan sa ipinaliwanag ni Apostol Pablo. Yan. Yan yung solution lang. Pag naghiwalay, ang solution, reconcile instead na mag-asawa ulit. So, walang o hindi itinuturo ni Apostol Pablo yon. Pwedeng mag-asawa kung yung isang party ay namatay. Malaya siyang mag-asawa, pero dapat believer. Nakuha niyo yung point doon. sa paliwanag ni Apostol Pablo. Kaya na-mention natin si Pablo ang may magandang explanation. Sa kanya natin matatagpuan yung malinaw na explanation regarding marriage. Sa ibang books, wala. Pagpunta ka sa Old Testament, hindi emphasize doon. Ang daming mga Old Testament people, maraming asawa. Pero kay Apostle Paul, isa lang hanggang kamatayan. Di ba? Kung sino yung asawa mo habang buhay na yun, kasama mo. At yung single, in-explain din niya yung advantage ng single, in-explain din ni Apostol Pablo. Kaya dito nyo mauunawaan paano ipinaliwanag ni Apostol Pablo tungkol sa mag-asawa. Ayan. So, ang chapter 7, ulitin ko po, ang chapter 7 more on marriage ang issue. Okay?